Good morning, everyone. 4 a.m. Got my little headlight going today. Today is day 861, 4,768 miles at age 67. I would really like to reach out and thank everyone who has commented, called, messaged me about yesterday's video. Talking about depression publicly is not really a fun thing to do, but so many people have struggles in that area, and you know, the way I look at it, 2/3 of my life is over. I want to spend the last third doing something that makes a little bit of a difference, and I think this will make a big difference over time. This channel, I mean, I'm getting subscribers, I'm getting views, everything's happening so fast that my head's spinning a little bit, but that's okay. Today, I want to talk about the most powerful three-letter word in the English language. And you're saying, well, what the heck is that? Well, this is Paul Eberhardt's version of the most powerful word in three-letter word in the English language. It's ask, A-S-K. I want to give you some examples. I want to share some stories with you this morning, this early. First story is my wife and I go to we drive a little over 2 hours to this great little shrimp place called Reinhardt's in Augusta, South Carolina. My free plug. Best shrimp you'll ever eat in your life. We were down there about a month ago, and their cocktail sauce is just crazy. I can't explain it. It's addictive. It's so good. So after our meal, I asked the waiter, I said, do y'all bottle this stuff up? I'd like to buy a bottle. And he said, no, we don't do that. And I said, oh, that's okay. I said, would you just throw a couple extra little cups in our to-go, because we always get stuff to go to eat later. And he came back with a 12-ounce cup of cocktail sauce that will probably last me a year if it doesn't go bad. The moral of that little story is you can ask without asking. There are ways to ask for things that the recipient has no idea that you've asked for it. And that's powerful, especially in sales. Number two is I had a previous YouTube channel. In fact, it's still up. It's called Backroads Burgers and Barbecue. And when I was formulating the idea for that channel, I started with bikes, burgers, and barbecue, bought a real nice motorcycle and rode around, talked about restaurants, all that kind of stuff. And then I sold the bike and flipped it to a Jeep. And when I got the Jeep, I said, what can I do to make this channel a little bit different? And it hit me. So I messaged on Facebook, powerful, Big Green Egg in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a 3-hour drive from me. I'm up here in South Carolina. And I asked him, I said, how would you like to sponsor my channel? Well, lo and behold, I got a response. They said, come on down, let's talk. So I drove down there. They got a huge showroom. And to make a real long story short, I left there. My Jeep was so full of Big Green Egg stuff, I couldn't get anything else in it. That I had to start telling them, okay, that's enough. I mean, I got a Mini Max, Big Green Egg, and every accessory you can think of. About $2,300 worth of stuff. Absolutely free. Just ask. And this story here is the one that I still think about it and just go, wow, what could have been? the summer of 1995, my brother passed away, and he had a place at Myrtle Beach. So my parents, at the time, they were both alive, and my wife and I, we went down there, and we were getting rid of all this stuff and moving stuff out and just moving stuff around, because at the time we lived in Florence, South Carolina, which is only an hour from the beach. So we're walking around Broadway at the beach. It's a relatively new place down there at the time, and they had just built the Hard Rock Cafe down there, and it was an Egyptian pyramid. And out front, they had a 1947 Harley Davidson sunk in the cement, and people were sitting on the bike taking pictures. And this was before digital cameras, to keep that in mind. So I looked at my father, and my father was a mechanical engineer. He was not an entrepreneur, but he thought like one. And I looked at him and I said, I got an idea. He just smiled. Because that's who I am. I'm the idea guy. And that was on a Friday. So on a Saturday, I went back down there and actually knocked on the door. They weren't even open yet. The grand opening was on Sunday. That's just the way it was working out. And I talked to the general manager. I said, look, you got all these people sitting on this Harley Davidson out here taking pictures, which is great. I said, but there's one thing missing. The person behind the camera is not on the bike. Why don't you let me set up a tripod out here with a Polaroid camera on it? That's the only option I had at the time. And I'll take pictures for people. We'll charge $5 a picture, and I'll take 4, you take 1. He said, that sounds like a good idea to me. Let's do it. So the following week, I had to, I was working at the time, full-time job, so I had to get everything, get all the equipment, get all that stuff. So the following Saturday, I went down there. My wife went down there, and we just stayed at my brother's place. And I got down there 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever and set up, and we stood there for about 2 hours together. Nothing, nobody. We weren't selling anything. And my wife, God bless her, she's just she's not an entrepreneur. She's supportive, but she's just, she just said, this isn't gonna work. And I said, yeah, we got to give it a little bit more time. So she left, and she said, I'll come back at dinner time. And I stood out there in that boiling hot sun. I had an umbrella, but I stood out there in that boiling hot sun all day. She comes walking up about 8 o'clock at night that night, and she said, how did it go? And I just lowered my head, and I reached into my pocket, and I pulled out a wad of fives that big. I'd made $500 on Saturday and $500 on Sunday in cash. And she just smiled. She said, holy moly. So I hear the entrepreneur guy in me saying, oh God, I can set up down here and make $500 a day, 6 days a week. That's $3,000 a week. Where are you gonna make that kind of money doing anything else? But as life throws you curveballs all the time, some woman called and complained that said I wasn't allowing people to use their own cameras, and corporate shot it down. But I've got that story. So the moral of this morning's early morning, it's probably what, 5:15 now, something like that. The moral of this story is just ask. If you want to do something, ask. If you want to change something, ask. If you want to be something different, ask. And sometimes that doesn't need to be a verbal ask. It needs to be an internal ask. Ask yourself, what can I do different? What can I do better? What can I do to make me happier? What can I do for my family? So that's today's video. I'm so grateful that all of y'all are subscribing and watching, and I'm just going to continue doing this every single day. that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm out here walking anyways. I'm going to film. So y'all have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.